Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Round 2 already. Jeffrey Fieger fires a new shot at Mike Morse in a lawsuit. This time, it's a former employee coming forward.
A fast-moving fire and evidence today of just how chaotic the scene was. You're going to hear from neighbors who watched people jumping out of the windows.
And haunting new details emerge in the Manchester bombing. What we're now learning about the man who did it amid fears of another attack.
All coming up on a busy news day. We're going to start, though, with 4 Live radar, which is starting to light up. We've got a lot of rain and some storms on the way here at 5. Going to be a while, in fact, before the skies clear out.
It could be a little bit of a messy ride home, so let's get right over to Ben. So, Ben, are we talking about anything severe?
It doesn't look like it, Karen. In fact, most of this should be rain. It looks like a lot of the thunderstorms should be staying off to our south and west, but the rain is starting to move back into the area after giving us just a little bit of a break. 75 here in Monroe County starting to get wet. Right now, we're dry in the city, just a couple sprinkles showing up near the airport, and a little bit more of a swath of rain out here towards 96 and 94 in the west end of Livingston and Washtenaw counties. But the push of water that we're seeing coming out of Ontario from Lake Erie is going to start overspreading the area and stay with us through the evening. So pretty easy forecast to remember. Rain, rain, and more rain as we head towards 10 o'clock. Temperatures in the 60s, and we've got more of it for Thursday. The question of whether it's going to stick around for the holiday weekend, we'll answer that in a few minutes, guys.
Our other top story tonight, a 60-year-old man and a 59-year-old woman killed this morning after the group home they were in goes up in flames.
This happened right around midnight, about at the home on Lakewood Street near East Jefferson. So this is close to the Detroit-Grosse Pointe borders. Jason Colthorpe shows us investigators believe that fire was no accident.
7 people lived in this group home, and I want to show you why fire investigators believe this could have been arson. Heavy, heavy damage right here in this fire. Very fast moving, and they say it was very concentrated here in the living room where they think it started.
Heavy fire out of every window on the first floor and involving the second floor. There was a woman lying in the front yard.
People jumping out of the windows and whatnot, trying to get out.
I rushed over to the house and we heard, some of the residents screaming like, "Oh, get out, get out, get out." You have to jump out the window.
They had no choice. Either live or die.
They found 2 victims. Both were on the second floor. One was in the hallway, one was in the back bedroom. They were burned beyond recognition, yeah.
As shocking as all that sounds, one neighbor here thinks otherwise.
And it's not a surprise because it's the second time this has happened. It's always been commotion over there.
He and other neighbors say the people who live here who have various disabilities sometimes seem to have no supervision at all.
People have been complaining about people urinating on the porch, harassing people coming down the street, people talking to themselves walking up and down the street in the middle of traffic.
That also prompted those neighbors to start calling Detroit police. They did that. The wife of the neighbor you just heard from told me she also called the state and filed a complaint online because this was a group home. She did that May 2nd. It opened an investigation and she was following up on it every week after that and was told just the day before yesterday that the investigation had been dropped. Guys, back to you.
Well, Jason, we mentioned this, so the suspicion is arson. Does that mean they have found an accelerant or some clue as to how it might have started?
Well, I think they're going on witness statements and from the people who ran out of here that lived here. Right now, again, it's not confirmed. The investigation's still ongoing. I've talked to fire investigators. But one of the men who lived here ran out and was telling people that he thought someone threw something at the house right before it went up, possibly a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Other news today, for the second time in as many weeks, attorney Mike Morse is facing a lawsuit filed by attorney Jeffrey Fieger.
This latest suit filed today is from a former Morse employee who claims Morse sexually harassed her at work and in Facebook messages. For the latest, let's get right to Mara McDonald. She is live outside of Morse's offices in Southfield. And Mara, there is a lot to go through in this complaint.
There is a lot to go through in here, Karen, and let me take you through it. We aren't releasing the woman's identity in this case, but we can tell you she was a former Morse Law employee who was let go. She says she was let go because she wouldn't take Morse up on multiple alleged sexual advances, as detailed in the complaint filed by Jeffrey Fieger, the second such lawsuit Fieger has filed. In it, this woman claims that as an employee of the firm, she was subjected to Morse at times grabbing her breasts, as well as inappropriately touching her elsewhere. The complaint details the type of comments she says Morse routinely said to her. Among them, "I want to take you into my office. I can't wait to see you get wild. I'm a good time. Do you still have your Hooters shirt?" Fieger is suing for $15 million in this case. Prior to this, Fieger is representing a woman who says Morse grabbed her breasts in a back room at the Farmington Hills restaurant, Lully's on the Green.
Back here live now, Morse denies all the allegations in that first lawsuit, but as we went to air, Devin and Karen, I just got a text from Morse, and this is what this says. These are his comments. The individual was employed as a receptionist for about 18 months until she was terminated for cause on April 7th of 2017. She never made a complaint during the time she was employed at my firm. I employ about 145 people, about half of whom are women. I have been in business for 2 decades and I have never been sued. I am not going to continue to participate in Mr. Fieger's media circus or his bid to attract more attention to himself and encourage baseless lawsuits. These matters will be handled in court. Devin, Karen, back to you.
Well, Mara, do we think there's a chance there could be even more lawsuits to come out of this?
You know, it's interesting. In the documentation that we got from Jeffrey Fieger's office today, it says that this is the second one in a series of lawsuits. So yes, the expectation is there will be more.
All right, the battle continues. All right, Mara McDonald live in Southfield.
A lot of new developments tonight in the investigation into the terror attack in Manchester, and it's on a number of fronts. There is new information and new arrests. Also, a new concern about the possibility of more violence. Jay Gray has the latest from Manchester. Jay?
Good evening. This memorial at St. Anne's Square, one of several across the city right now, and growing. This community coping with their loss as investigators try to understand how and why it happened.
As the investigation grows in Manchester tonight, a stunning revelation. The local paper quoting British security officials who say accused suicide bomber Salman Abedi likely did not assemble explosives used in the attack, and that the bomb maker may still be on the loose.
It's very clear that this is a network that we are investigating.
A number of people have been arrested, including an older brother in Manchester, his younger brother and father detained in Libya.
These family member arrests are going to be part of that network. Who else did he communicate with? Who did he talk to in the community? Who did he talk to online?
Intelligence sources say Abedi had known connections to ISIS and may have recently traveled to Syria and Libya and likely received terror training overseas. As the search for evidence and answers continues, so does the outpouring of emotion here. Thousands gathering at memorials across the city as they honor the 22 lost. The youngest victim, 8-year-old Safi Rose Rusas, remembered today during a private ceremony at her school.
As you can imagine, there were tears from the children and the staff, but we know together we have to hold on to the love amongst us. We owe that to Safi and her family.
Members of a local mosque paused for a moment of silence this afternoon before condemning the attack.
This act of cowardice has no place in our religion or any other religion for that matter.
But there are constant reminders that it's happened here, including armed police and military personnel on guard across the country to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Now, Abedi was known to British intel officers before the attack. We're learning today that U.S. agents were aware of the suspect as well. In Manchester, England, Jay Gray, Local 4.
All right, Jay. Also today, we should mention Ariana Grande has announced she is canceling her upcoming live shows until at least June 5th. She was set to perform in London later this week.
And back home now over in Dearborn, a temporary repair has been made after construction crews hit a gas line, causing a leak. The incident happened on Hubbard near Evergreen. People were evacuated from the Henry Ford Dialysis Center nearby. Some people who experienced symptoms of natural gas exposure were evaluated, and there are no reports of any serious injuries. Crews have capped the line and continue to work on a more permanent repair. A stranger danger alert in Hamtramck.
Yeah, police say this morning a student was walking to school in the area of Brombach between Belmont and Trowbridge when a red four-door sedan with tinted windows pulled up right next to them. It's alleged the driver rolled down the window a bit and told the student to get in the car because he had candy. When the child refused, the driver took off. If you saw anything or might be of any help to police, give them a call. Surveillance video captures a masked man robbing a 7-Eleven clerk at gunpoint.
It happened early Sunday morning at the 7-Eleven on 9 Mile Road and Pinecrest, that's in Ferndale. After walking in, the man orders the clerk to give him cash out of the register. The man also took the clerk's car keys and then forced her into a closet. He got away with the cash and the clerk's car. The car was later recovered.
One of the country's largest child seat manufacturers is issuing an important recall.
Be sure to check your seat's model number. We will have all the important details in just a couple of minutes. Nick.
The Detroit Water and Sewerage Department wants to make it very, very, very easy for you to pay your bills. In fact, they've installed a bunch of these kiosks all over the city. We're going to show you exactly how to use them.
It's little Samir. He and his mom sitting here 1 week ago in this house when, you tell us, gunfire erupted and he was grazed by a bullet. We're going to check in on mom and baby now that they're home.
New at 6.
New developments in the story involving the delivery of meat via shopping cart to a business in Warren. New at 6, what we've learned about where this meat came from and a safety check that was not done.
Also, a prized musical instrument now in the hands of carjackers. Why this saxophone is worth more than the thieves could even imagine.
Tonight, one of the city's youngest shooting victims is back home and recovering.
Just last week, Lakita Lamb's week-old newborn, Samir, was grazed by a bullet. They were just sitting on the couch in their home. The mom was also shot in the leg. We bring in Sean Lay, who caught up with them today. And Sean, very good to hear and see that both are recovering.
Listen, it was so good, Devin, to see Lakita Lamb today holding her newborn, Samir, and home and out of the hospital. Look, these two came just about this close, half an inch from being shot and killed.
But it's almost to the top of his head.
Yeah, it's 2 little marks right there.
It's a second homecoming for Lakita Lamb's newborn, Samir. He was born May 11th and came home from the hospital. Last week, the family was attacked by dozens of shots fired into the home on the east side, and little Samir was grazed by a bullet, his mother shot in the leg. He went back to the hospital and is again finally home.
It's the best feeling in the world to be out of that ICU room. It's the best feeling in the world to know that he's doing good. He got to start this week going to get his neuro checks. Hopefully everything's still looking good. Hopefully the blood is just going away. And other than that, it's just great to have him home.
Samir is 12 days old. He's absolutely adorable. And he came within a hair of being shot in the head.
We were sitting right there.
Police believe a sister and brother shot an AK-47 and a handgun into the home after an argument with the family about baby shoes. The woman, Yvette Gee, turned herself in. Police are still looking for the second suspect, Chadwick Wells.
I almost cry every time I think about it. Right. Every time I think about it, just how close we was.
Tonight, the Lamb family asking for that second gunman to turn themselves in. Devin.
Well, Sean, it's interesting because the baby's injury really looks like a scratch, but he was in the ICU for quite a while.
He was in there for quite a while. The family says because bleeding was the concern for several days. Doctors want to get that bleeding under control before they sent him home. He went back today for another checkup. They're that concerned about it. Just a scratch, but it came from a bullet, and he is just so small, Devin.
Yeah, so right. All right, Sean.
Well, the Pope's Choir will soon make an historic trip to Detroit.
The Sistine Chapel Choir, known as the Pope's Personal Choir, is going to perform at the Detroit Opera House. A performance scheduled for September 23rd, part of what is just a 3-city tour. It'll be the world's oldest choir's first time performing in Detroit. Tickets go on sale May 30th at 10 a.m. while they last.
Could you imagine bringing the family to that?
Pretty sweet. Yeah, it's going to be nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
Ben joins us.
what is not going to be nice is where we're headed now, right?
Definitely are going to need your.
This guy here.
Yeah, we've got more rain, which we don't need. The good thing is we don't have any flood watches or warnings out. So this is probably going to be a nuisance, and hopefully that's it. But the showers are just starting to come back into the area. Grosse Points and up towards St. Clair Shores, you're getting wet right now. Right in the city, we're still dry, but it's not going to be long before this big wall of water starts washing all across southeast Michigan. And we'll just see waves of this as we get through the evening hours and overnight as well going into tomorrow. So the broader picture shows that most of this stuff's hanging off down to the south, and you can see the circulation is just drawing that moisture up and sticking it into the Great Lakes. And as everything sort of rotates very slowly, almost lumbering through the northern Ohio Valley, that's going to keep rain chances around for us at least until we get into the afternoon hours tomorrow. So we're at 63 right now. In fact, all the Great Lakes on the cooler side of average. You can start to see the beginnings of some warmer temperatures out here in the Rockies. It's going to be a while before it gets here, but we can finally start to see some heat at the end of this cold tunnel. The jet stream does move a little bit further north as we get into the weekend Saturday. That's going to be our warmest temperature going forward. It dips down again, so we've got an unsettled start to next week. But once we get into Thursday late, you can see the back edge of this trough is on its way out, and we will start seeing temperatures climb as we get into next weekend and the week following. So temperatures on their way up eventually, but we still have to get through this rain tonight, and you'll see these waves just start rolling through here tonight. 7 o'clock again as we get into the overnight, and the model suggesting that some of the heavier stuff may be around for the morning commute tomorrow. Most of this starts tapering off as we get into the afternoon hours on Thursday. Not completely gone. There'll still be a couple showers around in the afternoon and evening tomorrow, but everything will be waning. As far as amounts go, those look impressive, and we will be seeing a couple spots here in southeast Michigan that are actually going to top 1 inch of rainfall from now through the day on Thursday. In fact, some of the higher totals will be here on the east side. Look at all these spots. It could be over 1 inch of rain for that 36-hour period. South zone still see some of the blue shades indicating over 1 inch of rain as well. The numbers do get lower the further west and north you get, even though there will be kind of a swath here where we'll see the 1 inch plus totals. They start lightening up into Genesee County, and especially when you get into our north zone. A lot of spots up here expecting about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, with some of the higher totals down here in parts of northern Oakland County. So temperatures, well, they're going to be on the cooler side of average, at least for tomorrow. Tonight, clouds keeping those a little bit above normal. 58 is where we're going for an overnight low. Highs tomorrow at 66, and those periods of rain are going to diminish as we get into the afternoon. Saturday, the warmest and driest of the 3-day holiday weekend. We do have chances of rain around on Sunday and Monday. Neither of those days look like a washout. So if you do have plans, just keep in mind you may have to sort of arrange things around
there you
the
go.
crops.
That makes it sound a lot less threatening.
Don't cancel anything, just kind of enjoy it around it.
Go in, go out. Go in, go out. We can do that.
Make it a game.
All right, thanks. Dr. McGeorge.
Well, taking extra trips to the gym could end up doing more harm than good. Ahead in Good Health, the very real consequences of being addicted to exercise.
Frank, but first, he didn't do much to hide himself from the cameras, that's for sure. What police say this guy did at a Detroit store. Next.
No one wants to talk about it, but there are couples struggling to overcome infidelity.
If you feel in your gut it's worth fighting for, fight. Do everything you can to save your marriage. It's worth it.
The 3 steps they're following to rebuild their marriage and how other couples can benefit. Tomorrow, starting at 5.
Detroit police need help in finding a suspected cell phone thief.
Take a look. Here's security video captured on May 6th, just before 1 in the afternoon. The suspect walks into a business on East Jefferson near Mount Elliott. Police say he then stole several cell phones and phone cases and left. The suspect is described as an African-American male in his 30s. He was wearing a black knit cap, a black jacket, a white shirt, and if you take a close look right there, it has a yellow character on it with Chinese writing. If you happen to see him, know him, call Detroit police. Time now for a Help Me Hank recall alert. Graco is recalling more than 25,000 car seats.
And that's because the harness webbing can break in a crash, so it might not be able to keep children restrained. The recall involves 8 different model numbers of the MyRide 65 car seat. Company says they'll provide owners with a replacement harness free of charge. For complete information on the models that are impacted, head to the consumer page at clickondetroit.com. Well, today was a great day for the women of the Detroit Police Department.
Take a look. As you can see here, these special people were honored during the annual Women in Blue ceremony. It was held at the Detroit Athletic Club in downtown Detroit. Women in Blue is an opportunity to thank Detroit police for the work they do on behalf of women and children. Funds raised during the luncheon go to an outreach program that works to interrupt the cycle of domestic violence and child abuse. And Coco McAvoy was the MC of that event.
New at 5:30.
He admits for years he was one of the biggest scammers out there. His life story turned into a major motion picture. Now he is revealing what you should do to protect yourself.
President Trump is still overseas, but back here at home, it's time to sell his budget. I'm Blaine Alexander on Capitol Hill with the very latest.
And if you're looking for a better, easier way to pay your water bill in the city of Detroit, the city is making it easier with these kiosks at 28 different locations, including some at some 24-hour locations. I'll tell you how that's possible.
It's dinner time. Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
It's a new tool that could help solve a big problem. These kiosks are helping Detroiters keep their water running. It tops our news tonight at 5:30. You know, just last month, we told you nearly 18,000 residents within the city of Detroit could have their water shut off because of non-payment. Well, now DWSD is making that bill payment easier than ever.
It's interesting with these brand new payment kiosks. As Nick Monticelli reports, so far they appear to be helping.
How easy is it to use that thing?
Oh, it's very simple. It's like going to the bank and withdrawing money.
So even I could do it?
Oh, yes. Hands down.
The Detroit Water and Sewerage Department is trying to make it as easy as possible to pay water bills, and hopefully these new kiosks will do just that, and maybe keep some people off the delinquent list. The new kiosks were installed in March, and since then they have been used for 10,000 transactions. It's really pretty simple. You start at the beginning, type in your account number, choose a method of payment, and away you go. So I'm here with Brian, one of the guys from the Detroit Water and Sewerage District. Don't say that wrong. And what's interesting is that the kiosks are here and this room is empty, so I'm guessing that means that they're working.
Yes, they are. They can pay with cash, credit, or a personal check.
You can do so much more than just pay your water bill though, right?
That's right. You can pay DTE, gas and electric bill, Wayne County Treasurer's Office, or Detroit water bill. All you have to do is you either scan your bill or you enter your address into the system, pulls up your account, and you can make a payment. Our centers are open 5 days a week. The downtown center is open 6 days a week. But some customers can only go to a place to make a payment on a Sunday. And these kiosks, many of them are open in locations 7 days a week, some of them 24 hours a day.
And the reason some of them can be open 24 hours a day is because the kiosks are at 28 locations, including 15 Rite Aid stores, DWSD customer care centers, DTE payment centers, and the Wayne County Treasurer's Office. Now, for some reason you want to go old school and you don't want to use the kiosk, you can still come in here to the office or any one of the payment centers, but they've got new technology here as well where you can actually log in, set up appointments, they'll even test you to let you know when you can come on down. Here at the DWSD, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, Nick, one note though, the kiosk does not give change. So if you use too much cash, there will instead be a credit put on your account.
Well, I think right about now we're all ready for a little bit of a break from the rain, wouldn't you say?
That would be fine already, as long as we get it cleared out in time for the holiday weekend, which is what I think a lot of people have their eyes on. Yeah.
It's a tall order here.
Well, yes, parts of the weekend will be dry. Parts will not. Tonight definitely will not be, and that's what 4 Live Radar has been chasing here for the last hour or so. We've got this next area of rain that's starting to move in from the east, and east siders are getting wet right now. That 94 stretch is going to be really wet here for the next hour or so, as you see this big push coming in off of Lake St. Clair. Further off to the south, more showers here across Little Wayne, Monroe County in our south zone. One of our drier spots is in the north zone, and this is where we think that some of the least amount of rain is going to fall. Out here north of 69 especially, there are some showers that have been scared up in southern parts of Lapeer County, but generally the zone is looking relatively dry right now. Rainfall totals could be topping 1 inch in parts of the area. We'll look at those totals in your 4-zone forecast, and of course your forecast for Memorial Day weekend all in a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben. The POTUS meets the Pope for the first time.
It happened today in Italy. President Trump came face to face with Pope Francis. This was while touring the Vatican with his family. The meeting was gracious and also saw the two leaders sitting down to find some common ground on critical issues, according to Vatican officials. The president and the Pope met privately. They spoke for about a half an hour today, talking about a range of topics, those topics including immigration and also health care.
He is something. He is really good. We had a fantastic meeting and we had a fantastic tour. It was really beautiful.
The Pope also met First Lady Melania Trump. Pope Francis asked Melania if she feeds the president a Slovenian dessert that the Pope loves to eat, and in response, Melania laughed and said she feeds him pizza.
While President Trump continues his first trip overseas, back at home, the Congressional Budget Office has now released its review of the GOP health care plan passed by the House earlier this month. Now, the CBO estimates the bill will leave 14 million more Americans uninsured next year than under Obamacare. That number jumps to an additional 23 million Americans without health insurance over the next decade. Those findings come as lawmakers are debating the president's budget plan. Blaine Alexander explains that it's not getting a warm reception on Capitol Hill.
And hello to you from Capitol Hill. With the president's $4 trillion budget proposal now fully on the table for his team, it's time to sell. With budget opponents out in full force.
Hands off! Hands off!
The White House mounting a full court press of its own. The president's budget director, along with secretaries of Treasury, Homeland Security, and Education, fanning out across Capitol Hill, selling the proposed budget to a skeptical Congress.
We wanted more money for national security, border security, law enforcement, veterans, school choice.
The plan includes deep cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and welfare programs that help the poor, while boosting tax cuts for the rich, plus a promise to reduce the deficit by growing the economy 3% each year, nearly double the current rate. Critics, even Republicans, calling that faulty math.
It's not only a myth, it's frankly a lie.
Democrats slamming the plan as Robin Hood in reverse.
It's a grotesquely immoral budget. It is a horrific budget.
We are not going to kick any deserving person off of any meaningful program. We want to help people just as much as you do. Republicans care about poor people as much as Democrats.
What is clear, this budget will not pass as currently written.
Yes, definitely dead on arrival.
So what's next?
So they're going to need to work with the budget he's proposed and make some big changes, and it's going to require hard choices, not just wishful thinking about economic growth.
The opening round of a long fight ahead for the president's first budget. And Congress has until September to continue hashing this whole thing out. That's when they will need to pass some version of this budget or continue the last one in order to keep the government running. In Washington, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, Blaine, now to stories coming to us from across the state of Michigan tonight.
Let's go ahead and start tonight in Casco Township. That's where Michigan State Police are trying to figure out exactly what led up to a shooting that killed the owner of an antique shop. Police say 58-year-old Robert Hill was shot and killed by his stepson. It happened this morning inside a house next to the Farmhouse Glen Antique Store. The victim's wife was also in the house at the time of the shooting. She wasn't hurt. When police got there, they say they found the 27-year-old suspect in the backyard. He surrendered and was later taken to jail. In Gaylord, celebrations are underway for native Lauren Dusky.
Well deserved. She took second place on The Voice last night. Hundreds came out to watch and support Lauren at the Ellison Place in Gaylord. Organizers of the watch party were expecting around 250. They ended up with twice that. Almost 500 people came to support her. Fans and friends alike say they've been so excited to see not only what's happened here, but what are her next steps that she'll take in her career. She was terrific. Congratulations. All right, now to good health. Everyone knows exercise is good for you. Well, a new study suggests working out obsessively when you're sick can be a sign of a deeper problem.
In fact, it could be a sign that you're addicted to exercise. Dr. McGeorge here to explain how it can be very unhealthy.
Well, to begin with, I realize most people struggle to get enough exercise and might find it hard to believe that this is really a thing, but I assure you it is. And the same principles that apply to other addictions, well, they apply right here.
The benefits of exercise are well known, but researchers say working out can be like a number of other things, positive and healthy in most cases, but harmful when taken too far. Exercise addiction is not included in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, but experts say it can lead to some serious health issues. A study published in the British Medical Journal examined the condition and determined that 2 to 3% of regular exercisers and up to 0.5% of the population worldwide has it, which adds up to hundreds of thousands of individuals. Symptoms can be difficult to spot, but some of the signs include exercising several times a day, joining multiple gyms, exercising despite an illness or an injury, or experiencing withdrawal-like symptoms when you can't work out. The health risks range from dehydration and anemia to overuse injuries to immune system damage. Exercise addiction can even lead to death if the sufferer also has an eating disorder. The study recommends therapy that follow the principles of addiction treatment, like cognitive behavioral therapy and exercise reprogramming.
Now, as with most things, moderation is really the key. If you do anything in a compulsive fashion, especially in the face of harmful or negative consequences to either your physical, your social, or your occupational well-being, well, that's really what we call an addiction.
So far, control room, studio, we can't find anybody who seems to identify with this. I have had the problem, though, of wanting to work out too soon after being sick because you're trying to prove to yourself you're well.
That's true. And that's a little bit of a compulsion.
Yes,
so, you got to control that.
Yeah.
Work on that,
Doctor's order.
I'm on it. I appreciate it, Frank.
Thanks, Doc.
We're going to find out what it really takes to report the news.
Coming up new here at 5:30, you are going to check out the hilarious results. What happened when we set up a camera and let these kids take over?
Could be in trouble, Sam. Also, the Rio Olympics wrapped up almost a year ago. There's a brand new problem popping up. What some medal winners are complaining about has nothing to do with the green pool. Hank?
He was a big-time scammer, a huge crook, but now he says his passion teaching you how to protect yourself. This former thief revealing all, new tonight.
On Jeopardy!